Welcome for Dell Sports Network. I'm Dan, and this is my pre-Olympic break hockey recap. This was my first full season of watching hockey every single day. Used to be like a, not exactly casual, but like a moderate casual. But now I'm all in, man. So this is kind of the Olympic break is starting today. So the final games went through last night, and this is just kind of what's been going on. I'm going to have some awards predictions, talk a little bit about being a Nashville Predators fan, for whatever that's worth. We're also going to talk about my Stanley Cup preseason predictions and some award winners, most surprising, most disappointing teams. So, here are the standings as such. Tampa Bay is on an absolute freaking tear lately, 19-1-1 in their last 21 to be tied with Carolina atop the East. And Colorado's been going crazy all year. They have come back a little bit. They've only got a 5-point lead on the Wild so far. But the top three teams in the West are all in the Central. Yeah, tough division. So my wife and I went to our first hockey game this year, and it was a Flames at Predators. All I asked, I don't know, a little bit backstory, and I'm not going to stray too much from hockey, but I've been to 32 games at Yankee Stadium, and the Yankees are 4-28 in those games. All I asked was, I prayed to the hockey gods. I just asked, just win this game. You'll have a fan for life. Here we are. Well, it was a lot of fun. Bridgestone Arena is fantastic. I don't know if anyone out there, if you've ever been to like downtown Nashville or Broadway, they call it. That is such a fantastic little area. Right outside of Bridgestone Arena, which is a gorgeous arena, is an entire strip of like all of these themed bars. I can't remember the exact ones, but you'll have like Luke Bryan themed bar and a Toby Keith and, you know, all sorts of country music. Man, it was such a nice little area, and the trip was a lot of fun. The Predators won. And I do have two more games coming up, two more live games. So that was my first NHL game. And coming up, we have Predators at Sabres. Sabres is not too far from us, so we're gonna go to that. I'm gonna wear a Rasmus Dahlin jersey. Definitely got it from the NHL.com site, and I'm going to wear a Predators hat. So I don't go to games to get into fist fights, so I want to see the guys on the ice fist fight. It should be fun. Predators are they love to be down. This is the life of a Predators fan. They love to be down by 2 or 3 goals every single game and then come back and make it good. Make it close. Sometimes they'll pull through, but whatever. It should be a lot of fun. I hear that area right in Buffalo is quite nice. And then Dave and I, obviously, you know Dave from the podcast. So the Buffalo one, I'm going with my wife. Dave and I are driving to Canada to watch the Wild at the Senators, which should be a lot of fun. So, right. I haven't been to Canada in about 6-7 years. So we went to Montreal a few years back. And it's weird. It's a culture shock a bit, because in Montreal, if you've ever been there, it's most of the stuff is in French. I don't speak any French whatsoever. So, all right. So we're going to talk about the awards winners. Well, I'm also going to talk about the 2 best goals that I've seen. I try to watch so much of it, but it gets to be exhausting so what I was doing beginning of the year, I'd watch the Predators game. If they weren't on, I'd watch Panthers or Wild, or, you know, a team that I enjoy watching as well. And then I would try and go back with like the ESPN Plus and watch the other games, but it's so hard to keep up with. So I'll watch as many full games as I can, and then I'll watch the 15-minute highlight videos on YouTube. So So, my current award winners are, well, this one's kind of obvious. So, the President's Trophy, I think, will go to Colorado. President's Trophy goes to the highest point getter in terms of team for the season. So, that's kind of like it definitely wasn't my preseason pick, but that's kind of one of those things that is pretty obvious and straightforward. Could Minnesota catch him? Could Tampa or Carolina or even Dallas catch him? Of course. But I don't think Colorado's hold on. Not going to go through all the awards. There are way more awards given out than I thought. But I have the top 7 or 8 of them here. So for my MVP, I have Nathan MacKinnon. Now, right now, it's kind of one of those things where, like, if I compare it to NFL or MLB, the highest home run getter, if he's got a good average, all that stuff, Nathan MacKinnon is 1 and 2 with Connor McDavid in points and goals. So it's kind of a 2-team race. The thing that has me kind of at a pause is that Colorado's team is better than Edmonton. So I think, kind of contradicting myself, I think Nathan MacKinnon will win it. But Connor McDavid probably should, because you have McDavid and Draisaitl, and then the team kind of falls off a cliff. They have a lot of solid players. Obviously, they've been in the finals 2 years in a row, but I don't know. I think that Colorado's been so good so far that it's got to be MacKinnon. But again, McDavid is more important to the Oilers than MacKinnon is. But MacKinnon also brings like a bit of an edge. And I want to give a shout out to Macklin Celebrini. He's in his 2nd year. This dude has San Jose right in it. San Jose, who was terrible for years in a row. Once, Thornton and all those guys kind of retired and left and all that. San Jose, they had a bit of a rough stretch the last 10, but holy crap, are they... And without this kid, they would probably still be really, really bad. So if San Jose makes the playoffs, I could see Celebrini jumping in. For my Vezina, which is the best goalie, I have Vasilevsky. Now, to me, it's a 2-man race between Vasilevsky of Tampa and Sorokin of the Islanders. The Islanders rely on Sorokin more, but I think that Vasilevsky's having the better season. This is a really cool thing, this NHL edge. And Vasilevsky leads in high danger save percentage and high danger saves, so I think that might, it could at the end of the day edge him out, but I think Vasilevsky's playing so well, and Tampa's been so good that it'll end up being Vasilevsky. Now, shout out to Karel Vejmelka, because anytime I see this dude, he's an absolute animal. It is crazy to watch this guy. Love watching him. Used to sound my boy from Nashville, 21 high danger goals against. Not good. Good Nashville. Hopefully I clean it up there. But the Art Ross is the points leader. For that one, I think that it will eventually be McDavid, because of what I talked about earlier. McDavid's more important to the success of the Oilers, so if they're going to make the playoffs, they need McDavid to be. MacKinnon doesn't have to be. He could. It's not his attitude. Obviously, he's very intense, very, every single game. I love his style. But if he kind of took a back seat a little bit along the way to kind of, stretch his game out for the playoffs, kind of pace himself, it wouldn't matter. Colorado would still be in. David, on the other hand, they need him to be Connor McDavid every single day, and there's no reason for me to think he won't be. The James Norris is the best defenseman, and now this might surprise a few people because obviously you have Quinn Hughes, you have Cale Makar from Colorado, But I think Zach Werenski is the best defenseman right now, and he is so relied upon by this Columbus team who's streaking. Yeah, I'll pop back to the standings here. Columbus was in the pits not too long ago, and they are currently 4 points out of that final playoff spot. Absolutely streaking. They're actually looking quite dangerous. 7 in a row, 9-1 in their last 10. And Zach Werenski is, if he's not the main reason, I don't know what is. He's the main reason. He is the minutes he eats up, and he's just absolutely fantastic. That is my defenseman of the year, the James Norris. I have two more, so this one's probably pretty obvious to people who've been following along, but I have Matthew Schaefer as my Calder Trophy winner. Now, there's a Calder Cup, which is a minor league trophy. It's like the playoff trophy, and there's a Calder Trophy, which is the Rookie of the Year. And I don't think there's any doubt right now that it's Matthew Schaefer. The guy is the star of the show in Long Island, or on Long Island, as some people like to say. But dude's an absolute stud. He's still a teenager. What? 18? Yeah, just barely 18. And he is the main reason, other than Sorokin, that this team is in contention. Another team that would just be nothing without this young guy. So my preseason picks to be in the Stanley Cup final is I had Dallas over Carolina. Now Dallas, I think, in order to keep their standing, maybe to boost it, they got to go out and make some trades. I feel like they're lacking in a couple of areas, and it feels like there's a hole, but they've been doing well. They kind of went on a bit of a losing streak, and now they're back to it. I think they've won 7 in a row. That was 6 in a row. 7-3 in their last 10. So, which brings me to my Conn Smythe winner, Mikko Rantanen. Guy still got his Colorado jersey on in the picture, but this guy's a maniac. He's an absolute stud. If he is on, which I think he will be in the playoffs, then Dallas will be the team to beat. It's crazy to see that he was traded twice last year. Landed with Dallas, perfect fit, and he is an absolute madman. Love it. I would love to see Dallas versus Colorado again. If McKinnon can win the Conn Smythe, he'll have to knock off, if it goes the way I think it will, he'll have to knock off both of his former teams. All right, so I have the most surprising team, which is the Buffalo Sabres. They were another team dead and buried this probably 2 months ago, and they just look like one of the best teams in the NHL right now. Let's see where they are in the standings. So they hold the the 4th spot in the Atlantic. They're 2 points behind the Red Wings, who were not too long ago were top of the Atlantic, top of the East. But they're currently a wild card team. If they can jump Detroit, they'll get a home game. Is that right? No, they play at Montreal. Sorry, the first series. But yeah, they're insane. They were in the basement again. We were all talking about them matching the New York Jets for the 15th consecutive year of not making the playoffs, and now they look like, oh my god, this team, they got it. They're in it. And then my most disappointing team is the Florida Panthers. I don't know. It's very obvious that their injuries are. It's not just Barkov and Kachuk. Marchand was out for a little bit. Seth Jones just went down. It seems like every single game, and they've made 3 finals in a row. What do you expect? You got to run out of gas at some point. But it's incredible and they play so well. Like yesterday, they played against Tampa, and they were out shooting Tampa. I believe it was like 20-7 in the first period, but they were down. It's crazy. It's just, you look at them and they're just stretched so thin. So it's an excuse, I guess, but it's also a reason. So Devils, man, they're down there too. They're quite disappointing. They started off so well. They're like that first 10-15 games before Jack Hughes went down. They looked like the team to beat. Wild. And then am I sticking with my finals pick of Dallas over Carolina? Yes. Dallas over Carolina in 6. And I think that would be a hell of a series to watch. These are my top 2 goals of the year so far. Top 2 goals of the first half. So this one, Luke Evangelista of the Predators. So Evangelista coming down the right side. Takes it, weaves inside, takes it himself, crosses over, backhands, falling to the ground, top shelf. Top right corner. If they give us a little, there's another angle. Absolutely insane. That was the better. Oh, just absolutely filthy. That was against Toronto. Bro is pumped. Nashville doesn't get a ton of goals like that. Well, nobody does, but they don't get a ton of like breakaway, do-it-yourself type of goals. That was just absolutely filthy. And then this one to me is the goal of the year. Connor McDavid, spinorama action. So he takes it himself. He comes from the left all the way to the right, left-handed shooter. Oh my God. Spin move, top shelf, opposite corner. Just absolutely filthy. Here he goes. Spin, breaks the ankles, top shelf, over the shoulder. Oh, it's just so gross. Those are definitely the best 2 goals I've seen this year. If you have seen any that are better than that, just let me know down below so I can watch them. Please. I would love to watch them. Well, let me know what you think down below. You know who your picks are. And I will catch you guys later.